Okay, you said something that was interesting. You said the way cinema is evolving and the way disruption is happening, the role of actors and stars will diminish. Where will we get our next Shah Rukh Khan from?
वो तो नहीं मिलेगा. This is it. That's why I'm envious of you guys. This is the last. Touch कर लो, feel कर लो, smell कर लो. मुझको इसके बाद.
I think a lot of the audience will say some people have all the luck.
My species is going to be extinct. I'm like the dinosaur of yours. This is it. This is the last time you're seeing a star. But honestly and seriously speaking, I really believe that longevity, there will be stars, inshallah, bigger than me. They might not come from cinema, perhaps, but the digital part of cinema. They'll be, you know, when I see my kids and they're watching these vines for 6 seconds, very small versions of what we think is cinema. And they have their own stars.
Right.
So they will be digital stars, I believe, and much bigger stars than I can ever be, I believe. And I truly believe that. But it may not come for the kind of longevity. You know, there used to be a time when films used to come out, there used to be Silver Jubilee, there used to be Golden Jubilee. But they didn't run, you know.
For so many years.
They didn't earn as much as our films do in the 3 days. So the longevity is going to reduce, just like there are no Silver Jubilees and Golden Jubilees. But I think the import, if you are going to measure it by the standard of earnings, etc., will be even larger and bigger as far as the stars are concerned.
So that actually brings me to a question. What today qualifies a hit? It was 100 crore pehle, फिर उसके बाद 200 crore. Now this whole 300 crore club, you're talking about, you know, 1,000 crore club. Dangal does so well in China. What is today a hit?
जलाओ मत, मैं कहाँ पहुँचा वहाँ पे? 500 crore, कौन सा 500 crore? हमारा यहाँ 50 नहीं हो रहा. But to be honest, I think, you know, the ways, I think this is just the surface that is being scratched. I think it's wonderful what Amir has done. I think what Salman manages to do with every film of his, mashallah. But I think this is just scratching the surface right now. What's going to happen is, this is a small little figure I'll tell you. We do have very few theaters.
That's right.
In our country compared to the number of people who would like to. So there is a bottleneck from, you know, wanting to supply to the consumer. So there's a bottleneck. There are not enough theaters. That's why films do so well in China. You know, they have like 60,000 theaters. We have about 10 to 12,000 theaters. So the biggest of films, and in spite of that, Dangal has done more than 500 crores and Tiger Zinda has done 500 crores or whatever. So all these films are actually being able to garner those eyeballs. But the business, like you said, is it going to be 500 or 600? I think the big films are going to be about 2,000 crores. I think if we have enough cinemas, the movies are going to do that kind of business. I think that will genuinely qualify for a hit.
And that will change the face of it.
It will, 100%.
I will ask you this. You know, when an actor talks about profits and when he talks about a business venture, he's either frowned upon or not taken as seriously. How do you mix the two roles? You are an extremely sensitive actor par excellence, and you then are a very profitable businessman as well.
Not very profitable.
Reasonably profitable.
वरना यहाँ थोड़ी ना आता कहीं पे पैसे खर्च कर रहा होता. The genuine truth is that, you know, it is an industry. It is a job. And I think the more monies that come into this business, the better films you can make. Otherwise, we're just going to be sitting and saying, हमारी film वैसे क्यों नहीं चलती, जैसे वहाँ की फिल्में चलती हैं. So I think one needs to understand, and I've been very fortunate that the people that I worked with, Mr. Yash Chopra to begin with, and up to now, all the youngsters, they all have this sensibility that we need to make money for this industry to grow so we can invest it back. Yes, it is frowned upon if a star is just talking about the huge prices that we talk about, and I'm taking it and just taking it home. But if you're taking those earnings, those profits, and putting it back into cinema in terms of technology, and even in terms of investment for making theaters grow, or whatever you may need to grow it, I think then it should not be frowned upon. But I think it's frowned upon normally when, you know, you hear, "Hey, actor katna price ho gaya." But it becomes selfish in any business to be frowned upon. But if it's selfless and it's an industry, then it's a good thing.
But you know, I will ask this question. Of late, you've been talking a lot about actors investing back in small films. You know, the ones that go beyond formulas, the ones that are doing very well, and you've been on record to talk about that. I think you partly answered my question that isn't the biggest hurdle to films like that the price of stars and actors like yourselves?
No, I've done a film like, actually Chak De India was a very low budget film. And the pricing was like that. And they're friends, so you can have a point system of earning. I think big stars should participate in small films. What we call small, I'm sorry, one should not call it small, but differently oriented films which are not in your face commercials. So Dear Zindagi was like that. And I think if, well-known, good production houses, they come together to make interesting. Jungli Films is doing it with Vineet. So if you are able to invest small monies into more interesting films. So Karan and me managed with Dear Zindagi and Gauri. I think most stars will do small films or films which are less budget, and you can figure out the earnings by point systems, and I don't think anybody moves away from that. If you offer me a really nice film which is not the big budget ticket, I'll still take it, and I'm sure all these stars would do it.
So let me just move to disruption, and I have to talk digital. What does the entry of a Netflix or an Amazon and all of that really mean for people like yourselves? You mentioned something like the appointment cinema is going to die. The appointment cinema perhaps is not going to be what it is today. So what does the influx of digital in terms of the things that I've quoted really mean for cinema today?
I think it's fantastic. It's fantastic. We may worry about it, like I was telling you, my friends and all, we were discussing last night. I think the main thing that's going to happen with Netflix and these digital platforms coming in, the main thing is going to be that the medium and small films will find a house to release in. And I truly believe at this point in time, when you hear of a film called Bright with Mr. Will Smith in it, and you think it's a big film and a big stars come on Netflix, oh, what's going to happen to theaters? No, I think community viewing is not going to go out of fashion. People will love to watch things together, there is a beauty in watching a live football match instead of seeing a recorded one. And big cinema ticket, big films will be like that. While the medium films and the small films, which you said, do not find sometimes, investment, will find house there. So I think at the end of it all, Netflix is really, really going to uplift all the medium and small cinema. Of course, they'll have their big ticket films also. And big cinema will only release in theaters where you go with families and friends and go and watch it.